I used to seriously think, oh, I'm not successful if I see any white space on my calendar. Now it's, I have to have that in order to achieve more.
Yeah.
And I adjusted my mindset and set that boundary. We're your hosts, Sahara Embry
and Michaela Bedoyan. From working corporate 9-to-5s to running $1 million companies,
we're bringing you the inside scoop of what it takes to start and scale your business.
We're keeping things real, raw, and unfiltered.
This is the Rise and Refine podcast. Welcome back
to the Rise and Refine podcast.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, y'all.
This is a good episode because this is something I feel like both of us have really worked on. How boundaries can actually help you prevent burnout, and also how being booked doesn't mean you can avoid burnout. So those two big things are key to being a business owner. So we're going to dive in.
Yeah.
There's a lot with boundaries.
There is a lot with boundaries. I feel like Sahara and I have been on personal growth journeys, especially over this last year.
Yes.
It's just been a very challenging year for both of us within our own businesses, with Refined, her with Opening Crew, her expanding Embry Group, taking it from under a different brokerage to her own brokerage. And so there's just been a lot of business pivots, and we've had to learn how to navigate those individually, but also together, and how to effectively set those boundaries as business partners, communicate effectively, look at each other's calendars and see like, okay, this isn't working here. This is working here. What do we need to do differently?
Boundaries with each other, with clients, with ourselves.
Exactly.
So much to dive into. And I think too, we didn't talk about this yet. This is a side note, but just how much Embry Group has grown to. Like, I think last year we did 120 something million in sales. We are already at 100 million this year.
Holy cow.
So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's like all this stuff has grown so fast. And I've had to be very careful because I am definitely the type of person who can get to burnout. And I want to talk first about what burnout means for each of us, and kind of define it in our own way. For me, what burnout feels like is almost like what we talked about in the last episode, where it's like you could not, if you stop working out, you couldn't force yourself to work out because you just can't get there mentally. For me, burnout is like I cannot creatively think of any new concepts. I can't fix anything. I can't get stuff done. I'm slower at responding to people, but yet I constantly feel busy, but internally I'm not growing anything because I just mentally am not there.
Yeah.
That's
like
what
your
it feels
mind is, your mind is chugging along, but it's not in a productive way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
and it just makes you tired.
Yeah. There's a difference between working in your business and working on your business, right? Like, you have to avoid burnout because you have to work on your business to continue to grow it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, burnout becomes me constantly working in my business and not allowing myself time to breathe and grow the business.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
Pretty much the same thing. I mean, I feel like burnout a lot of the times is when I say yes too often.
Yeah.
And I know I don't have the time, but I say yes because maybe it's a close family friend, or maybe it's somebody, maybe it's a loved one, whatever it might be. And I say yes because I don't want them to disapprove or think less of me. And it's almost like a people pleaser mentality.
Yeah.
And so I say yes, even though I know it's going to cause me stress. I don't have the time for it already. I'm going to have to work it into my schedule. I'm going to have to shift things around.
You're adjusting your life to fit what they want.
Yes.
And that causes burnout very fast.
Yep, pretty much. And that was what I was actively learning to overcome, and why I completely switched around my calendar, which we'll touch on in a little bit.
Yes. Because we definitely want to give tips to that too. And it's kind of like, I feel like when you're booked, you can feel busy and like you're not at burnout, right?
Yeah.
But being booked doesn't mean that you are busy and productive and avoiding burnout. It can actually mean the complete opposite. And so be very mindful of what we both did, which is diving into our schedules. And I used to view success as I've got 40 meetings this week. That's good.
That makes me want to throw
yeah,
up.
literally. That's
I'm like,
how I viewed
6
it.
meetings a week I'm good.
Yes.
I don't need
Yes.
anymore.
That's literally how I viewed success is, do I have that many meetings? But success does not equal how many meetings you have and having a calendar fully booked. That is, it's probably the opposite. And I was just telling Michaela, I just literally read this, but it was saying having like available space on your calendar can actually be a CEO superpower, and can actually help you achieve more because you're giving yourself time to work on your business and not constantly in meetings where your mind has to be on 24/7. So
I love
something
that.
I worked on personally to help me with setting boundaries was I completely restructured all my meetings. You've done the same. I try not to take meetings on Fridays as well, especially during the summer because I'm Maeve on Fridays. But my meeting days, I make Monday. I like to get my week started with meetings. And that's where I have 8 meetings on Monday, but then the rest of the week, I don't have that many anymore.
Okay.
Like I completely narrowed it down. I've got 38 team members that I have to meet with every single month, no matter what. Well, and I changed it. That's what I was doing.
Okay. It's like, holy cow.
Yes.
That's already 38 individual meetings.
Yes. So that's what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
For just the agents, because I like to coach my agents and be very involved with them. So what we changed it to adjust my calendar is I started to feel like those meetings were as productive because they were almost too consistent. And I couldn't give my all because I was doing so much. So I adjusted it to where if they're hitting their goals, it's once a quarter. They're not hitting their goals, it's once a month.
That's smart.
So it spreads out a little bit more. So I just adjusted my calendar, and where my mindset used to be, I used to seriously think, oh, I'm not successful if I see any white space on my calendar. Now it's, I have to have that in order to achieve more.
Yeah.
And I adjusted my mindset and set that boundary.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, I also used to book back to back to back meetings to where I was finishing a meeting and another one is immediately starting.
Yeah.
Now I make sure that there's at least a 15-minute time block in between,
or
or ideally a 30-minute.
Yes.
So that way I can debrief, I can fully prep for the next meeting.
Yes.
I mean, I do a morning prep. I do a night before, a morning prep prior to the day even starting, but especially if it's a very meeting heavy day.
Yeah.
But if it's like back to back to back, I like to have at least 10 minutes of jump starting, diving in. Okay, what is this client file? What am I actually looking at? Especially if it's my first call with a client. Like I want to make sure, because you work with a couple different people at one time, and if you are switching from one project to another, back and forth, it's like you're gonna mix them up and lose track of what the actual like KPIs for that are. Yeah. And so I don't know. I had to separate and make sure that I wasn't booking back to back to back. I was actually leaving that space.
It's funny because I don't think we talked about us both doing that because I did a 15-minute break in between too.
Okay.
Unless it was like a 30-minute coaching call with my agents, those I didn't. I did do back to back because those I can easily, it's numbers accountability, dive into. But now on my Monday meetings with every single person at the company, like the department leaders and everything, what I do is I space it out about 15-30 minutes between.
Yeah.
And I always make sure that I prep the night before, review my notes the morning of, because the worst thing you can do is have people come to a meeting and they're like, why am I here?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? This could have been an email.
Exactly.
So I'm just pouring more into prepping for meetings, doing less of them, and then spreading out the time with my schedule.
Yeah, that's super smart. I mean, my mom always says, and I think I've said this on a previous episode, like way back, but proper preparation prevents poor performance. It's like the 5 Ps. And that has stuck with me ever since I was in, I think the first time she started saying it was like elementary, middle school, when we were starting to understand that you needed to prep for the next day at school. Like it was important to lay out your outfit before. It was important to like do the little things prior to the next day starting so that you feel prepared for the next day.
It makes a huge difference.
It does. And so that stuck with me. So, even with prepping for a meeting, even the night before of like, okay, looking at what you actually have for the next day. Like, yes, you can do that on Sunday or maybe even on Friday before the next week, but like ending your day, looking at what you have the next day, setting up whatever you need to make
preparing
that day
mind,
successful. Exactly. It's going to dramatically help you. And it's definitely helped with setting boundaries for myself with turning on and off work.
Yes, 100%.
Because once I do that, I feel like I can step away. Like, so I know what I have going on.
Again?
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Poor performance.
Yep.
Okay. That is hard, but that makes so much sense. That's hard to say. I'm going to try to say it like 5 times, not on film. So that's good. But it is, I mean, adjusting your schedule, deep diving into it. And I think something we probably should do too is do this at least once a quarter, because your schedule, you just start adding more and more. Do a good deep dive into your schedule once a quarter, clean it out.
Yeah,
and
audit your calendar, look at what time like you're just spending randomly, or maybe it's like you're not even, maybe you had to shift some things around because you got got caught doom scrolling, or you got caught in a conversation you shouldn't have been having at that time, or, just yapping away, whatever it is.
You didn't realize that you cluttered your calendar again. Like, look at it and be mindful of it. Because we're all going to go through those times where we keep adding, but make sure you adjust it. And also another thing I used to do, and I don't know if you did this too, but I would tell people, like, if somebody wants to schedule a meeting with me, I would do everything in my power to make it that same week, because I felt like, oh, they're not going to wait for me. Yeah. Like, they're asking to meet with me. They need me to do this ASAP. I have to put a rush on this. And I would really hurt my calendar and myself by doing that. So I've set a new boundary, which is, be honest, look at your calendar. Yeah. And most of the time, tell them 2 or 3 weeks. Wait until you truly have a day where you don't have any other meetings, and just push it out. If it's an emergency and they need to do it sooner, they will tell you. But I've been pushing people out a little bit more in a respectful way. Right. And it's gone very well. They're understanding and stuff, because they would probably do the same. Well,
and they respect your time.
Yes.
By the time that meeting comes, you didn't bend over backwards to add them into your calendar, but you actually set up an intentional time with them. It might be 2 to 3 weeks. It might be a month out, but they know that you value their time because you set the date. You're going to make that meeting.
I want to give it my all.
They know that you're accountable.
Yes.
And they're going to respect your time because you are on your calendar.
And I want to show up my best self. Yeah. And if I book myself back to back to back, I'm not going to show up as my best self. I'm going to be burnout. And so by pushing the meetings and having more time and not scheduling myself back to back, it's really allowed me to show up better, be more prepared, be more productive, and it's gone well. So it's a very important lesson and boundary I've learned. So I want to read something before we move on from burnout. And I like this because I never thought of it this way. Okay. I wonder if you thought of this. It says, burnout isn't a badge. Just because you're booked doesn't mean your business is built right. Oof. And I was like, you know what? I feel like people used to brag about getting burnout. Like, it is a badge. Like, I'm so busy, I'm burnout. Yeah. Like, I'm booked. I kind of feel like I treated it like that. Like, if I'm being raw, like, I feel like I thought it was like, it meant I was successful because I was burnout. Did you ever feel like that?
I don't know if I ever used it as, well, maybe I have used it as, I know I've used the term busy as a badge. I don't know if I've used booked out or burnt out as a badge. Yeah. I'll use booked out as a badge, but not burnt out. Yeah. But I think burnt out and busy can be interchanged very often to the point where it's so normal for people to say, like, oh, I can't, I'm too busy. Yeah. You're not that busy. Yeah. Like, you, if you wanted to fit it into your calendar, you would.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Everybody's busy. Everybody they're busy in their own different way. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. Cause burnout is such a big topic for a lot of like business owners and CEOs. And I'm like, when did burnout become like
a fad?
Yeah.
Like, it's like a trend to be burnt out.
I want to go the opposite direction. I want to run a successful business and not be burnt out. Yeah. Like,
I don't want my business controlling me. Like, I left my 9 to 5 to run a business, not for my new 9 to 5 to control every decision that I make. And it, like, definitely Refined is still very new, and it still has its times where I'm like, all right, I got to grind. I have to do this. But it was very much more in the first year where I was like, no, I can't. Yeah. I'm busy. Yeah. I have stuff to do with Refined. I can't do it. I can't do it. This year, I feel like I've taken a lot more control over my calendar. Yeah. to where I've said I try not to work more than one full work weekend a month.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I might touch something on Saturday. I try to never work on Sundays except for looking at and preparing for the next week, but not actually doing any work for Refined.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like
you do have to being a business owner means sometimes we do have to work more than normal. That's just, that's part of it.
Right.
But grinding and working and stuff, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will always have to have off days and that, I think there's a time when you work and you have to grind and there's a time when you can take a step back and breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to balance it and learning and not letting other people dictate you and your life. And you fitting it around what's best for you.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
All right. So I want to talk about boundaries too in business and dive deep in moving on from burnout. But a real thing that I think I'm trying to learn right now, I think both of us are, is setting priorities, what's important, what's not important. And then also setting boundaries and knowing that that is okay to set boundaries.
Yeah.
So what's a way you recently set a boundary?
Recently setting a boundary of putting my phone on do not disturb during the work day. So when I get home from the gym, because I've been trying to go to the gym in the mornings and make that a priority for me because I know that I'm more productive after that.
Yeah.
So when I sit down at my desk by 9 a.m. until 6 p.m., I've not been the best or the most consistent on it. I think I just need to set it up as an automation. But setting my phone on do not disturb to where any personal texts that come through or notifications or social media notifications,
like distractions
I don't
during
see
the day.
them.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one that's kind of smaller that I've set. A big boundary is not having meetings on Mondays and Fridays and having those as my admin, solely working on client projects, admin work for Refine days, and then my forward facing days being my meeting days being Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest shift I've had, the biggest boundary I've had to set, because I've had to say no to clients being like, well, can't we just meet on Monday at 4:00? No. And that was so
There's
hard
four
for me
other or three or however many options.
Yes.
We got to come to. It's also not always no, this is the only time. No, willing to work with them, but also there's times and days I can't do.
Right. Exactly. And it was so difficult for me to say no the first couple of times. And no, sorry, I no longer take meetings on Mondays and Fridays. Those are admin. And I would even word vomit. I would tell them everything of this is why, blah, 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 blah. They don't really care.
They don't need to know.
They don't need to know any of that.
Yeah. It's no, I cannot meet then. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quit blabbling about all of it and just say no. These are the days that I can meet and let it be that, because I needed to have that separation.
Yeah, 100%.
I needed to have those uninterrupted work days in order for us to move the needle with Refined.
Yes, 100%. Saying no is my probably biggest boundary. Yeah. You would be shocked at things that I've recently said no to. I've been way better at setting my expectations. I used to be scared to set, especially with employees, here's my expectations. Yeah. Here's what we need to get done. And I have been way better at just prioritizing my time. It used to be if somebody needed something, I would always be there and show up. But when I needed something, it wasn't
reciprocated.
And so I'm just being better at respecting my time off, my time with Maeve, my family time, and making sure that I say no and I don't just say yes to every opportunity. I'm truly looking at day to day. Who am I investing my time in today? What am I working on today?
Yeah.
What's a priority? And is this going to make me happy? And is this going to actually make me do I want to invest my time with them? Do I feel like it's productive? Are they giving their all if I'm going to give my all? So I've been just taking a step back and looking at who I'm spending my time with and saying no more and not letting other people dictate where I need to be or what I need to do.
I love that. That's good.
It's a lot. It's hard as a people pleaser.
No, it definitely is. I feel like we're both recovering people pleasers to a certain extent. I feel like you're probably a little bit more so than me. Yeah. Mine is just my my fear of rejection and my perfectionism is what is really the fears that I'm overcoming. Those are like my limiting beliefs that are honed into me.
Yeah. We all have something that's like for me, saying no to opportunity means, well, what if that could have equaled this greatness?
Right.
And that's my fear. Like, what if that would have helped me succeed more?
Right.
And having to, it's like you, like putting out the website. Well,
it's not perfect. Like,
it's not perfect.
This isn't like the way that I want it. This isn't right. I need to move this here. I need to still build out this section. It's like, just get it out there already.
Yes.
Like, you can add to it later on, but we need to get this launched to where we do attract the right target audience and we do bring in a new influx of leads.
Or it may never happen because you're going to pick at it for so long.
Exactly. And that's what happened for 5 months. So there's that.
And then you finally got over it. So it's a big one, setting that, and we both set the same boundaries. Like Michaela just talked about this with office hours.
Yeah.
Respecting both of our times more, giving ourselves times to be off. We both took vacations. We both were like, I told Michaela, said, I'm not working.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know this. I set expectations, and I was like, I'm not going to work. And she understood that. Same with you. You set and you said, I'm working on these days, but I'm not working on these days.
Yep.
And making sure we're off and we're spending time with family and allowing us to have mental breaks.
Right. Exactly.
Very, very important.
It's so important. And it's even more so of like, okay, even a spontaneous kind of, maybe not spontaneous, but you have a long weekend coming up and you know you're going to be taking that long weekend, communicating with your team, communicating to Sahara of like, okay, I'm taking a half day on this Friday. If you need something, you need to get it to me before by Thursday at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise I will not see it until the following Monday. And just having that clear communication, because a lot of the times where things break down is because the communication is off, or there just simply wasn't anything, or there was an assumption made where I'm like, I know Sahara will get it done, and then not realizing, oh, she's got this, this, and this, because we never talked about it.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a huge, huge piece as well to just help with setting boundaries, avoiding burnout in general as well.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that, oh, we took an off day, we took a vacation, we stopped working by 6, whatever time. Doesn't mean we're going to be less successful because of it. We also know that if we've got a big project or something we need to roll out, we may need to extend that to 8 one day.
Right.
It's about making sure that we try to stick to our schedule and respect our time as much as we can, and where we put it and invest it. And that's big.
Yeah.
So, and this is something else I read, which is give yourself permission to build a business that supports your actual life, and that's sustainable and that you can keep up with, something that isn't destroying your physical and mental health. Something that continues to inspire you, something that, gives back, something that allows you to invest in your children, allows you to be a mom, allows you to be a wife, whatever that is, and make sure that you live your life and stop only working for others, but work for yourself and your family and build that.
Yeah, building a legacy and figuring out what that is of utmost importance, because if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, and you guys hear us say this all the time, but if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, then you need to hone in on that. Do some deep diving.
Yeah.
It takes journaling and just brain dumping and getting a ton out there. Maybe you need to sit down with your significant other and figure out what your huge, unrealistic, maybe right now to you, dreams are, getting them on paper and seeing them every day, because it is proven that when you actually write something down and you see it in front of you every single day, there's a much higher likelihood of you actually achieving that.
Yes, exactly. I want to end it with also, if you're kind of struggling with, well, I don't know if I'm in burnout or not, or I don't know if this is actually like good for me to do or not, some tips you can kind of look for that I wrote down. So for me, it was like, if you're forgetting simple things or you're like missing deadlines, that is I used to think, well, I'm the busy one, they can wait on me. But no, if somebody needs something, just like I expect my employees to reach deadlines and answer me, I need to do the same for them. I found myself like forgetting to do things or constantly having to be reminded and stuff because I had too much clutter. And so this week, one of the boundaries you probably noticed, because we get shit done, is I literally have a to-do list now, but I prioritize it by what's most important to get done, what's most not important to get done. and what has to get done today versus what can get done tomorrow and wait on. Because sometimes I'll jump ahead when it's like, no, you need to get these things done. Who do you need to respond to? What do you need to get back? And making sure that you look for those things. So if you feel like you're forgetting a lot of stuff and people are waiting on you and you're not getting projects done, probably prioritize and fix your schedule a little bit.
Most definitely.
And then another one was feeling resentful towards your work, being like, I don't want to do this.
This isn't for me.
This isn't for me. Why am I doing this for nothing?
Yeah.
If you've got that, if it's a career you love, but you have a little bit of resentfulness, it could be a sign of like burnout. And that's something that I think we should all kind of feel and look for.
Yeah. Because if it does come to that, then you probably do want to take a break and step away for a little bit, take some PTO.
Yes, 100%. Well, hopefully we gave you guys some tips on burnout and boundaries and how to look for it and kind of really focus on you and your business.
And hopefully you're not having to deal with any of this right now and you are just the perfect business owner.
Yes, let us know.
If you are struggling with this, hopefully you glean something from it and we're able to take a few key points that related to where you are at in your business journey. But we hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like the episode, subscribe to us. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and you can watch us here on YouTube. But we would love for you to follow us at Rise and Refine Podcast. And if you want to check out the Brandon Web Design Studio, you can follow us on Instagram at refinemarketing_. Outside of that, we hope that you guys have a lovely Monday.
See you next Monday.